Hello, today we're going to demonstrate how to allocate and assign an Elastic IP address from the Clemson CU OneCloud to one of our running virtual machines. By default, our virtual machine has a private IP address in the 10.10 range, and so we're going to try and acquire a public Clemson IP address so that our virtual machine can be accessed from other machines on campus. In order to do that, we need to first create a connection to our EC2 cloud. And I have previously defined two variables, access ID and access secret, to contain my cloud credentials. And we're going to need to create a region for OpenNebula. And our endpoint is chimney.cs.clemson.edu. The port that we're going to use is 8443, and we want to make sure that is secure is set to true. Now, first what I want to do is show you which instances I have running. Alright, and so if I print out my instances, you'll see I have two virtual machines running, 282 and 287. So we're going to use 282, and just to show you that, so the ID is I-282. Now I also have a VNC connection set up with my virtual machine, just to show you that it is running a 10.10.2.24 IP address. What we're going to do is start pinging the laptop that I'm working on, and then I'm going to show you a Wireshark trace that I have running in the background right now. Now what you'll notice is that the packets right now appear to be coming from 130.127.39.204, and that is the IP address of the physical machine that my virtual machine is hosted on. And so using the Elastic IP address, we're going to get our machine to have its own IP address. So in order to get the Elastic IP address, what we need to do is call connection.allocate address, and you'll see that the IP address we were allocated is 39.82. In order to get that to work with our virtual machine, we need to call associate address, and we're going to pass it our instance ID and the public IP address to associate with it. Alright, and what we'll notice is that currently the packets from our virtual machine are still coming out as .204. The reason for this is the flow rules for OpenFlow will time out after 60 seconds. So it'll take up to 60 seconds for the new rule to go into effect that will use our Elastic IP address for the machine. Okay, and so now that the rules have been flushed out and our new rules taken place, you'll see that what we have is a ping request that originated from 39.82, which is the Elastic IP address we assigned our virtual machine. So that worked. Okay, so the other thing we're going to try is to reassign, or to assign a new Elastic IP address to our virtual machine. So in order for that to work, what we want to do is get a second Elastic IP address. Okay, and we'll print out the public IP is 39.83, and so what we're going to do is associate address, our instance ID, and then the second address is public IP, and if we go back to Wireshark, what we'll see is right here we have an instantaneous change from our 39.82 address to 39.83. And that is because our OpenFlow controller has flushed out all the old rules for Elastic IP and installed rules for our new Elastic IP. So what we can also do is we can deallocate or disassociate an Elastic IP address. And all you have to do here is pass in the IP address you want to disassociate. And if we go back to Wireshark, you'll see that the IP address switched from 39.83 back to 39.204. And that is because our virtual machine now has a private IP address again. The other thing that you'll want to do is we still have two addresses allocated to our account, and so what we want to do is release those addresses back into the pool so that other users will be able to acquire an Elastic IP address. So we'll have to call address.publicip, and that'll release our first address, and then if we pass in our second one, now we have released both of our addresses back into the pool so that other users may use the Elastic IP address. So now that we've done that, I want to show you that if you'll look at the VNC session for our virtual machine, I'm going to stop that, and you'll notice that during that entire time we had 326 packets sent and 326 packets received, which means 0 packet loss, while we were modifying the public IP address of our virtual machine on the fly. So as you can see, the Elastic IP address feature works pretty well, and you can use it to assign new IP addresses to virtual machines, or you can reassign an address from one instance to another. This concludes the demonstration on how to allocate and use the Elastic IP address feature of the Clemson CU OneCloud.